Emerging from the Druidan forest with news of the conspirators' demise, you begin your journey to Minas Tirith. As you wake the following day, you see dark plumes of smoke rising across the lands of Arnor. Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Line Unbroken, my progression start playthrough series of the Lord of the Rings living card game. I am playing the Nightmare version of Encounter at Amon Din, the third quest in the Against the Shadow cycle. So, this quest is much more difficult in Nightmare mode than it is in Standard mode. It's very easy in Standard mode and very difficult in Nightmare. Let's take a look at the Nightmare card. You are playing Nightmare mode. Gulat cannot take damage unless there are at least 15 progress tokens on Protect the Villagers. Setup: place 1 villager token on rescued villagers. Forced, at the beginning of the quest phase, either discard 1 villager token from rescued villagers or reveal an encounter card. Our regular setup set Gulat aside out of play, put Lord Alcaron into play, make Burning Farmhouse the active location, add the rescued villagers and dead villagers objectives to the staging area, then shuffle the encounter deck and reveal 1 encounter card per player and add it to the staging area. So, let's see what our starting reveals are like. Surge Doomed 1. Attached to rescued villagers counts as a condition attachment with the text forced at the end of the round. Discard 1 villager token from rescued villagers. Well, that's going to be a problem. And it surges. Marauding Orc and Run for Your Lives. Discard 1 villager token from rescued villagers. Assign X damage among characters in play. X is the number of damage tokens on dead villagers. Well, this rescued villager is discarded. I will trigger Lord Alcaron's response after a villager token is discarded. Exhaust Lord Alcaron to place that villager token on a location instead. This will still cause me some definite problems. In a smouldering village near Amon Din, you find none other than a tired Lord Alcaron. Pleased to see you, he requests your assistance in protecting the village. Villagers 5. When progress would be placed on Savagery of the Orcs, move an equal number of villager tokens from this quest onto rescued villagers instead. If there are no villager tokens on Savagery of the Orcs, advance to the next stage. So, Control N. And thanks to a recent change on Octagon, I no longer have to manually draw the card for my second deck. It does happen automatically. You can see I now have 7 cards here. So, of course, I'm going to immediately play Legacy of Numenor, Doomed 4, and all my heroes get an extra resource to work with. I will also play We Are Not Idle. Draw another card. Okay, that's very good. Bill the Pony is free. Gondorian Shield on Boromir. And I can play this Envoy of Pelargir. I should probably do that and add the resource to probably Glorfindel. So let's pay them both from Sam. Add the resource to Glorfindel. Now over here, I can of course play Gildor's Council, and I will be doing so. I play Light of Valinor onto Glorfindel. Now let's see. I need to save either 3 lore resources or 2 lore resources and Grima's ability. Which means if I don't use Grima's ability for a spirit card here, I could get out a Gathering Minstrel. Let's see, how much willpower do I have right now? 3, 4, 5, 8, 10. I could make that 12, 13. Yeah, I'm probably going to be fine. But actually, I'm going to play the Horse Breeder. Look at the top 10 cards of this deck. And there is Asphalloth. Shuffle the deck. Now, do I go straight for Asphalloth, or actually do I go for the Minstrel in the hopes of possibly finding a test of will? I'm going to take the Minstrel, I think. So Doomed 1 for Grima, and I pay 1 for the Minstrel. Search the top 5 cards of this deck, and I find a test of will. That's fantastic. So, now, in the quest phase, forced at the beginning of the quest phase, either discard 1 villager token from rescued villagers or reveal an encounter card. I cannot discard a villager token from rescued villagers because there aren't any there. I already had to remove 1 during the setup phase, so I reveal an encounter card. Trapped villagers. Place 3 damage tokens on dead villagers until the end of the round. Add 1 to the total threat in the staging area for each damage token on dead villagers. Or I could play this test of will that I conveniently found. So, there's 2 threat in the staging area. This guy is too strong to be killed by hands upon the bow, but it's worth checking. So 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, 11, 12, and I will only be revealing 1 more card. Overrun Village. Villagers 2. While it's in the staging area, it gets forced after an enemy engages a player. Discard 1 villager token from Overrun Village. Travel, place 1 damage token on dead villagers. It's unfortunate that I couldn't get Thrall's map into play as well to bypass that travel cost. But it was better to get the test of will with the Minstrel and, of course, Gilgal's Council. So, I have added 3 threat to the staging area. So I make 7 progress. 5, 6, 7. So that is 7 villagers rescued. This goes to the victory display. And I will travel here, placing 1 damage token on dead villagers. Now the Marauding Orc, after it attacks and destroys a character, place 1 damage token on dead villagers. That's fine. I will engage it here. Defend with Boromir. Deal attacking enemy 1 shadow card for each villager token on the active location. Okay. If this destroys a character, defending player raises his threat by 1 for each damage token on dead villagers. So 1 threat, that's fine. I can attack with Legolas and Haldir, kill this guy, place 2 progress with Legolas. And, okay. So this, forced at the end of the round, discard 1 villager token from rescued villagers. But Lord Alcaron will be ready, so I'm going to have him move this villager to the overrun village instead of increasing dead villagers. Lord Alcaron crosses the table, and we control N, and once again I do not have to manually draw the card over here. I'm going to keep reminding myself of this because, of course, I'm not used to it yet. Okay. So, I'm not particularly in need of the additional willpower from the West Road Traveller, given that the staging area is empty. I probably want to just use this doomed one to play Thrall's map for free. And use my resources to play Asphalloth. And at this point, really, this sort of fast start that I've gotten is exactly what I want. Because basically there are too many effects in the Nightmare version of the quest to avoid getting damage on dead villagers. And I think that my best chance... Oh, Lord Alcron should be exhausted. My best chance is to just finish the quest quickly, so I can get lots of villagers rescued before the dead villagers mount up. I will play this Galvan Archer. Of course the response is wasted, but I just want to make sure I have spare attack around. And okay, let's quest 3, 6, 8, 10. Might I want a chump? Yes, I'm more likely to want a chump with this deck. So 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, 11. Versus a staging area of 0, I will discard a villager token rather than revealing an extra card. Gondorian Hamlet. Villagers 3. And while it's in the staging area, it gains forced after a treachery is revealed from the encounter deck. Discard 1 villager token from Gondorian Hamlet. That's not a treachery, so that's fine. 4 threat added to the staging area. I make 7 progress. 1, 2, 3. And I will be advancing the quest. So that's 3, 6 more rescued villagers. This is in the victory display. And we advance the quest. The orcs pillaging Anorian are remnants of the army defeated at Kerandros. Stranded on the western bank of the Anduin, they are now punishing the local population. One of the roving bands is led by a cunning orc captain by the name of Gulat. You must stop Gulat and his orcs, or many innocents will die. When revealed, add Gulat to the staging area. If an attack goes undefended, discard X villager tokens from rescued villagers instead of damaging a hero. X is the amount of damage that would have been dealt. When the villagers defeat this stage, end the game. Compare the number of tokens on rescued villagers to the number of tokens on dead villagers. So, we will of course travel to the Gondorian Hamlet and use Asphalloth to put 2 progress on the Gondorian Hamlet. Now, Orc Rabble and Gulat. All the attack here, actually, is... Oh no, Boromir is not ranged. So, it doesn't make too much difference. I can't kill Gulat anyway. It needs 10 attack to kill him. So this shouldn't be an issue. I could use Hands Upon the Bow to just kill the Orc Rabble right away. And then I would only have to deal with Gulat. Of course, if I do that, then when this effect triggers at the end of the round, there will be... Well, if I trigger Legolas's response, it would explore the Gondorian Hamlet, and so there would be no location for Lord Alcron to put the villager token on. So I suppose that just means I don't trigger Legolas. And it is Gulat cannot take damage. Yes, it's not that he gains indestructible, it is that he cannot take damage. So I can't start placing the damage in advance. But I think... well... no, this should be fine, and I might have... actually, no, I don't think I'll have a better use for the hands upon the bow, so I'll just kill that orc rabble in advance. Actually, slight retcon. I will use the hands upon the bow to kill the orc rabble before I travel, so I can actually use the progress. Then I travel here, and then I engage Gulat. So, when he attacks, place 1 damage token on dead villagers. And his attack is equal to the number of damage tokens on dead villagers. So right now it's 3. I defend with Boromir. That's fine. I can't deal damage to him. Once again, at the end of the round, I discard a villager token from here, but Lord Alcaron can move it to the Gondorian hamlet. Control N. Gandalf has arrived at an excellent time. Nothing particularly useful there. Okay, so obviously I'm going to sneak attack Gandalf. Over here... well, I should take advantage of Grima. So I will only pay 1 for this West Road Traveller. I will not trigger her response, obviously. Now let's see, how much progress do I need to make? 15. The staging area is empty. I can quest for 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 14. So it's probably better if I sneak attack Gandalf for questing. Alright, so sneak attack Gandalf, draw 3 cards. Feint is useful. And now we quest for 3, 4, 5, 9, 12, 14, 18. I can make the 2 progress here with Asphalloth, if necessary. Of course, at the start of the quest phase, this happens. I could add 1 extra with Boromir to give me best possible chances. Thing is, I need Haldir to be able to attack Gulat. So although, well, there might be other ways I could manage it. And there's no point in him being ready to attack Gulat if I don't make enough progress. So what was it? I need 15 progress. So at the moment I only have a buffer of 3. 5 accounting for the fact I could make this progress with Asphalloth. But I don't really think that's enough. So let's go for as much progress as I can. Requesting for 21. And we reveal Orc Raiders. When revealed, either discard 1 villager token from rescued villagers, or it makes an immediate attack against the first player. Well, this deck is first player. So I will take the attack. I raise my threat by 1 to ready Boromir, and he defends. He takes 1 damage. And then we reveal a burning farmhouse. 4 villagers. So, 5 threat has been added to the staging area. I am making 16 progress. So, 4 more villagers rescued. Gulat can now take damage. Travel to the burning farmhouse. Use Asphalth to put 2 progress on it. I will have to engage these Orc Raiders. Gandalf is back in my hand. I raise my threat by 1 to ready Boromir and engage the Raiders. We play a feint on Gulat, and Boromir will defend against the Raiders. He takes 1 damage again. I raise my threat by 1 to ready Boromir again. So now we attack for 3, 6, 8. And deal 5 damage to Gulat. This is fine. So at the end of the round, villagers are discarded from both rescued villages and the burning farmhouse, but I will exhaust Lord Alcaron to put 1 of them back in the burning farmhouse. Control N. Lord Alcaron is now over here. Let's play Daeron's Runes. I'll use the Elrond's Council. Play the Warden of Healing, exhaust him to heal Boromir, pay 2 resources to ready him and exhaust him to heal Boromir. And over here, I can pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Gandalf to deal 4 damage to Gulat. He goes to the victory display, and thus I end the game with 12 rescued villagers and 5 dead villagers. 12 is more than 5. Lord Alcaron is exhausted. 12 is more than 5. So I have won the game. Well, that was nice and quick. I suppose this didn't really show off how much more difficult this is than the standard version, but then I specifically geared my decks to take not to take advantage of that fact, but to try and mitigate that fact. Finishing the quest at a sprint is really the most reliable way of actually dealing with it. Because with effects like those now sundered, and the treachery that I cancelled that would just immediately give me 3 dead villagers. Of course, there's the chance that you don't reveal enough locations to keep rescuing villagers from. If you don't get enough willpower early on, if you don't explore the burning farmhouse that you start with, then after the first round you have no rescued villagers and just have to keep revealing extra cards, which on the one hand may get you more locations that you can explore to rescue more villagers, but on the other hand it may cause you to reveal more enemies, which with effects that make you discard villagers, or treacheries that force you to discard villagers. So really, yeah, the best way to take this quest is really at a sprint. Drop as much willpower as you can while still having enough combat ability to deal with everything that pops up, most significantly Gulat. I suppose with a more advanced card pool, Tactics Eowyn would be great. She's exactly strong enough to kill Gulat by herself. Anyway, yeah, of course I had more possibilities if I'd drawn into them. So if the game went longer than it did, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. But it was much easier it probably would have been more difficult to complete the quest if it had lasted more than 3 rounds. Well, 3 completed rounds. 4 rounds in total. Regardless, having played this quest in cases where I was less well prepared for it, I'm actually quite happy that I didn't end up bashing my head against a brick wall. So, if you enjoyed this, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.